Regardless of the funding changes, there will always be a need for humanitarian action in an inhumane world. I'm Stephen Commins. I'm the academic director for the Masters of Science in Humanitarian Action, which is part of the Kroc School of Peace Studies at the University of San Diego. I have taught part-time at the University of California, Los Angeles, in the Luskin School, courses in disaster management, disaster recovery. Programmatically, I was director of World Vision International's Complex Emergency Working Group for 8 years. I managed a number of projects in Nepal, Jordan, Lebanon, and West Africa, dealing with either conflict displacement or disaster management. I also worked at the World Bank for 7 years, working in areas of health, education, social protection, particularly in communities affected by conflict. So the United States government, the British government, the Swedish government, the Swiss government have all made funding reductions and or restructured where they're giving humanitarian aid. Some countries, Norway, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland, gives a huge amount of aid. What I would say is that over the last 2 months, it's very clear that the initial funding changes and stress of early 2025 do not mean an overall massive decrease in 2026 and 27. It does mean new ways of working. There's a lot of interest in social innovation, a lot more interest in helping refugees and displaced people get back to jobs more quickly. There's more interest in public-private partnerships. There's more interest also in terms of domestic disasters. So in the United States, it's very clear FEMA will not have the funding of the role it did over the past many decades, and at least for the next 4 or 5 years. Much more responsibility will be on city, county, and state agencies, and there'll be enormous need to scale up the capacity of these agencies. A good example is that in the fires of 2025, among the many difficulties in the city of Los Angeles, their emergency office had 1 employee. It makes no sense to have 1 employee in a city of 3 million people. So that by itself showed that often these agencies are not prepared. We saw tragically in the floods in Texas in the summer of 2025, a lack of early warning, a lack of preparation. Children in the summer camp who lost their lives were in places that no camp should have been built, and people knew that. So both disaster preparation and disaster response will become increasingly important. The changes in federal funding levels and the management structure and the setting of priorities in the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, will have a number of implications for humanitarian response. First of all, it's very clear there'll be much less money for disaster prevention and disaster preparation. How much goes to response remains to be seen, but dependent on federal money will leave communities more vulnerable. This means that at the city, county, state level, those governments are going to be under more pressure from their citizens who see the vulnerability to be better prepared, or if they trip over their shoelaces in a response, they're going to have to respond better the next time. In the case of large-scale disasters, there will always be a significant role from the private sector. Simple example is one of my students did a study for Culver City, a suburb of Los Angeles, and their emergency disaster preparation. And one of the things Culver City does is they contract with several local companies that provide dump trucks, Caterpillar tractors, cranes for picking up buildings, cleaning up roads, because the city has no reason to keep that there. So cities that are prepared, they may contract a private contractor for that. They may contract an emergency response organization, which has 50 nurses they can fly in. We saw some of the contracting during COVID, where nurses were contracted to go to the most heavily hit area. So you'll see a lot more blending of that. And I think the key word is blending, but that requires advanced preparation and coordination. The humanitarian space is a rewarding space. The professional jobs provide a good income and a solid place to work from, particularly going forward in the next few years. If one is hesitant, the best thing to do is to contact us to meet some of the faculty. We're always happy to have a student say, I'm most interested in logistics, so they should talk to that person, or data visualization. They can talk to me. I'm not very scary in the end. So any of that, we're very open to. We're an open program. We want to encourage students to engage with us, to think about it, so when they do enroll, they're ready to have full advantage of what we have.